evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to our show, Chercher l'artiste. I'm Leslie Dalencour, and tonight we have a phenomenal show for you. I have a very, very good friend of mine that I know from a long time ago, and we're going to talk to him. He's a multifaceted guy. He does music, he does real estate, he's all over. So, without waiting, I would like to introduce to you Calix. Calix, welcome to Chercher l'artiste.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much.
It's a pleasure to have you.
The pleasure is all mine. Thank you so much for having me on your show today. I really, really, really appreciate it.
I'm so glad that you were able to come to me and talk to me after a long trip that you just did in Europe.
Yes, that's true.
And you visited a lot of countries.
That is true. That is true. I literally just got back last week.
Yeah.
It was a fantastic, fantastic time.
Trip. I saw you were in Monaco and in Cannes or Nice.
Yeah, both. Actually,
Both,
all of the above.
Yeah. I have a bunch of friends that live in Nice. I have a very good friend there that did this show with me, Marc Blanc. Marc, hi, how are you? And he lives in Nice. And tell me your impression of Europe. Whoa.
So I had never been to Nice. I had never been to the south of France, the Mediterranean.
La Côte d'Azur.
Yes, exactly what you said. I have a friend that lives there, and he invited me to come over.
Yes.
During the time where there was the Cannes Film Festival,
right.
And simultaneously within the week, there was also the Monaco Grand Prix, the F1.
Yes, I watched it here.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It was here, literally, maybe a few weeks or a couple of weeks prior to Monaco.
Right.
So I had the opportunity to go and not only experience the Cannes Film Festival, but at the same time, throughout the course of the week, I also ended up going to the Monaco F1 race, which was a fantastic experience. Again, I'm a big fan. I love. Who doesn't like fast cars, right? Who doesn't like fast cars?
I know. You like cars.
I do love cars. Yes, I do. I'm a big fan of cars.
Yeah, I know Calix since he is 16. No?
Yes, at least
16.
Yes.
I went to his school to do a lecture. At that time, I was working as the director of a modeling school or agency, and then I went there to speak to the students on Career Day.
Correct.
And then you were very interested in everything I was telling you about. And then we ended up becoming friends, and even I could say brothers.
Brothers from other mothers, 100%.
Indeed.
I mean, literally, you became one of my best friends.
Yes,
you did. You
too.
You were an inspiration. You still are. You were an inspiration to me.
Thank you.
For those people that don't know, Leslie was the inspiration for you. You're the one that actually pioneered and helped me, guided me, gave me the direction, gave me the inspiration, the motivation to where I am really right now.
Right.
From music, from singing to dancing to acting. You name it. You're the guy. You know that.
But so I know that you dabble in pretty much the music world, but what direction have you taken now? Have you decided to go?
So as you know, I was in the music field, or the entertainment business for that matter. I also did some acting as well.
Yeah.
I was part of a boy band, as you know.
Yes. A very nice band, by the way.
I appreciate that. However, I took a direction in the real estate business.
Right.
And working in the entertainment business and in the hospitality business, you'd be surprised, they all intertwine.
Indeed.
And just because of the people that I met throughout my many years, building these bridges and building these connections, like you, I'm a people person, I like to think, right?
I love people. I love people.
You know? So I build these relationships with people, and I saw the amount of money that I can make in real estate at one point or another just because I put people together, like you.
Indeed.
And then
if I had been charging, I'd be a rich man.
So I ended up making, for my first deal, just by putting people together, I made $30,000.
Wow.
And I thought to myself, if this
that's
is
money.
That's money.
Yeah.
You know, and I forgot how to sing. I forgot how to dance.
Well, not really. You never forget that. It's like riding a bicycle.
You're right, muscle memory. But for the most part, I did take that direction, and I said to myself, you know what? If I want to sing, I want to dance, and I want to pursue the entertainment field, who better than to
produce and or find the resources to do that other than myself.
Indeed.
So I did that. And so I decided to go in the real estate direction. I was a music major at one point or another. I became a business major. I ended up getting my real estate license. I became a real estate instructor. You name it, I did it. I pretty much, what I had to know and what I had to do in terms of having people trust me now as not just the entertainer and or hospitality go-to guy. Now I'm the go-to guy when it came to real estate. Like anything in life, you have to master the craft.
Indeed.
And learn and pretty much just kind of, go through many experiences.
And find out what's going to be happening in the town.
Correct.
Who is building.
Correct.
Who is going to be selling.
Correct.
Who is your competition.
Correct. Well, Leslie, with you, I had no competition. We had no competition. Remember, you taught me there is no competition.
There is indeed. You know that? I believe that when I do something, I do it well or I don't do it at all.
That's the way it is. Yeah.
Very important. So you started in real estate like that. So you got the license.
Yes, and then when I ended up getting the real estate license, I started venturing into all sorts of different facets and different things in terms of, you wanted to learn a little bit about the economy. You wanted to learn a little bit about, finance. You wanted to learn a little about anything that had to do that was related to the real estate business. So I became licensed, and you name it, I had a license for it. From the beginning to the end, from real estate to finance to title, which is insurance.
Right.
So I met several people that guided me in the right direction. And to this point on, this was in 2005.
Wow.
2005. And then from 2005, eventually in 2010, towards the end of 2010, the beginning of 2011, I opened up my own real estate company. Miami.
So you're a broker now?
Yes, I'm a real estate broker.
Oh my God.
Yes,
Congratulations.
Yes. Thank you.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Thank you. The name,
I thought you were just a real estate agent.
No. So I ventured out. I broke out eventually. You pick up and you learn. You build a clientele.
Right.
And you follow good people.
And if the people are happy with the service you gave them, they are going to recommend you to their friends, and their friends are going to recommend you to their friends.
And it's funny that you say that, because leading into what we are now, as you know, social media.
Indeed.
I worked by word of mouth. Yes. I didn't do any marketing. I had zero marketing. Right. But now there's social media, right? So unless people know who you are, you could be the best realtor, the best singer, the best dancer.
That's true. You always have to have a constant presence.
Correct.
On that's why my music never died. Because I am always there bothering people, and you got. It's funny because last night I learned about ChatGPT. Because
it's so funny you say that.
I don't know what it is. I don't know what AI is or anything like that. Then
artificial intelligence.
I know what that means, but I don't know how to use it and all that. So
you're not the only one.
I said to ChatGPT, I want you to write me a dance tune that says how you are the wrong one for me. And it wrote a fabulous song. When I tell you a fabulous song, I emailed it to myself to show you the word. And then I thought about it. I said, well, we can go put that in Creole, in French, in Spanish.
In English?
No, it's in English. And, and then I can just pump something. The next thing I'm going to learn is how to put the melody on my lyrics.
That's fantastic.
Because I used to work with a gentleman called Alexis von Guggenberg in Washington, and with the distance, I only have time a little bit to go up to DC and create music with him. But we had created a lot of songs, and so I don't really, I know what sound I want. I would say, like, for example, I would tell him, that thing that goes chicka chicka chicka, or boom boom. But I don't know the name of the instrument. And then we ended up doing a lot of very great songs, among which Boom Boom, that went to #1, and that is on Law and Order SVU.
Oh, wow.
Law and Order SVU.
Wow.
And I did the commercial for T-Mobile. I did FIFA.
Wow. FIFA.
CONCACAF.
Oh, wow. We got to talk about soccer.
And yes,
Wow.
yes, and CONCACAF and the American football.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
fantastic.
Yeah, I
Oh,
did the
God.
T-Mobile commercial. Incredible. So,
But you know what? That doesn't faze me coming from you. That doesn't faze me.
so as you were saying, you decided to go into real estate and have your own
Real estate
broker
company.
firm.
Yeah. The name of the brokerage firm is Miami and the Beaches Realty.
Miami and the beaches. So you deal with South Beach or
You name it, anywhere trifecta. I call it the trifecta, from anywhere between Miami-Dade County, Broward County, and West Palm Beach. You name it, we have anything to do with
that's good.
whether it's beach property, beachfront property, if it makes sense, if it makes money, people are interested in coming to Miami because Miami's a hot spot.
Right.
Fort Lauderdale, West
Indeed.
Palm Beach, you name it, Florida in general for the most
Right.
part. But if it makes sense and people like it, I am there to be their eyes and
Right,
their ears
indeed.
and their guide.
And how would you answer to somebody that would tell you, like they have visited Miami 10, 20 years ago, and Miami Beach, for example, is no longer the same thing.
I agree.
The other day I tried to go into Miami Beach. And
I remember you lived there.
I lived there,
forever.
right? I
Yeah.
lived
You
there.
lived there.
And I got lost. I found myself in a tunnel. I'm like, what? Since when there is a tunnel in Miami Beach?
That's true. That is true. There was a tunnel. Yeah, that didn't exist before.
I know.
That didn't exist.
I was like, what's that?
Yeah.
Tunnel. I'm like, wow. So everything is growing, and the little 395 when you're passing between those buildings, that didn't exist. There was
That
no
didn't exist.
buildings there.
You're absolutely right. Yeah, so it's developed. It's grown a lot ever since that we've been there. I mean, I've been in Miami for 40 years. I've been in Miami
Yes.
I grew up in Miami.
Yes.
Miami in itself has been a multicultural, a pot.
Yeah.
People from everywhere in the world.
Indeed.
And just not too long ago, I mean, I can tell you, after COVID, post-COVID,
Right.
it became just the place.
Yeah, indeed.
There was an influx of everybody.
Indeed. Listen, keep this idea. We're going to take a little break. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take just a little break. We'll be right back with you and with Alex. And we're back with our guest today, Alex. So you were telling me about Miami being the center, and Biscayne, I found out,
Yes.
is the center of the banking of South America.
It is. It really is.
Yeah.
When I tell you, you and I, we
I remember you used to live in Brickell.
Yeah, well, correct. Well, I had an apartment in Brickell.
Okay.
I used to have an apartment in Brickell, but I mainly lived in Miami Beach.
Oh, really? That's
Yeah,
great.
Yeah, I lived in Miami Beach for almost 20 years in one particular place, and I started venturing out of Miami Beach as Miami was growing.
Right.
And you said you're right. Brickell was literally the
Banking, yeah.
banking industry for for South America
Yes.
and Central
South
America.
America, yeah, and
the
Central
Caribbean.
America, yeah.
So eventually, I ended up leaving Miami Beach, and then I went into Edgewater, which is right there by Brickell.
Where is Edgewater?
Edgewater is in between. It's actually the bridge between Brickell, Miami Beach, Wynwood. It's downtown. Edgewater is where the Venetian Causeway is. Remember the Venetian
I
Causeway?
know the Venetian Causeway.
On 15th. So Edgewater starts there,
Yeah.
anywhere between 15th Street and Biscayne,
Yeah.
all the way until maybe 36th.
Right. Okay, I see. Yeah.
That's all of Edgewater.
Yeah.
So as you're facing east, all those buildings that didn't
Yeah.
exist. Remember the Grand?
I know.
You know the Grand?
Yeah.
So remember the Grand? That was and the Venetian, the
They were
building?
the only one.
They were the only buildings.
Yeah.
And now
That was where Cheyenne used to
Cheyenne,
live.
correct,
Yeah.
correct. That's right. And everything else was non-existent, as you know, right?
Indeed.
So people just,
I haven't seen that part yet.
oh God, it is gorgeous.
And there was a mall there.
Yes, right, yeah. And
Is
now
it still there?
It's now a school. It's a University of Art.
No.
It's the Art Institute of
So
Florida.
there's no more mall.
There's no more mall, no. But there's a lot of buildings, beautiful buildings,
Yeah.
skyscrapers.
Right.
And again, there was migration. People just started pouring and pouring and pouring, and people needed to live somewhere. So developers started building and building and building, and it became the place, in my opinion. Well, you just alluded to a moment ago. It is the central place of Miami.
Indeed. And how is the train, electric train?
Oh, yeah, the Metro Mover.
The Metro Mover.
The Metro Mover is fantastic. It actually starts by the Venetian. That's one of the starting points, right
that
by the
was
Venetian.
Where the mall used to be.
Correct.
And you went up, and then you go to Kendall with it.
You could go. Well,
how far does it go now?
Well, it still goes all the way to Kendall, but it goes from the Venetian, and then you take the Metro Mover, and then from the Metro Mover
to Metro Center.
To Metro Center, and you take the Metro Station, which is a Metro train, which is a train.
Correct.
And then that'll take you all the way to Kendall, or even the airport, for that matter.
Inside of the airport?
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Man, because I refuse to fly out of Miami.
Okay, really?
It's pure insanity.
Yeah. Well, they built in Brickell something called the Brickell City Center.
Right, okay.
And now there's a Metro Mover that literally drops you off right there in the Brickell City Center, which is in Brickell, a mall, which that mall that really Miami needed, because there was no mall right there in the center of Miami. They finally built the Brickell City Center, and that's really one of the happening spots
close
now in Miami.
The Intercontinental?
Right by the Intercontinental, very close.
Right.
It's exactly.
I performed at the James L. Knight Center. I don't know if it's still there.
Of course. No, it's not. I don't know. Not that I'm aware of. No. Now I think it's something else.
It has like 12,000 people.
Yeah, no, I know exactly the one you're talking about. Yeah, no, it doesn't exist anymore. In terms of the name, no. Now there's the Adrian Arts Center.
Adrian Arts Center, okay.
Oh my God, it's beautiful.
Yes,
God,
I see it. It's got a shape, a weird shape, like
some really
futuristic.
Cool, correct. Now that's the musical plays of New York.
Oh, really?
Oh my God, it's gorgeous.
Okay.
So it's a taste of Broadway in Miami.
Right.
And it's literally in the center of Miami.
I know. Yes, it is.
And it's I mean, if you appreciate art, you love artistic backgrounds and just anything artsy. That's music, entertainment.
Do you remember when we were deuced with Chris Birdie?
Of course, I remember.
I remember.
Of course.
What's the name of the stadium that was down there? The Orange Bowl.
The Orange Bowl.
Okay.
Yeah.
I performed there with Shusha.
Oh my! I remember Shusha.
Cheyenne. I think Ricky Barton, Gloria Estefan, and a bunch of other people that I can't remember their name. But I remember that we did only one song, one of our songs, "Give Me a Love." Give me a love.
I remember that.
And then it was amazing. It was amazing.
Now it's. My God, they built.
Is it a baseball game?
Oh my God,
stadium?
It's Marlin Stadium. It's one of the most innovative stadiums in the country.
It's better than the
Hard Rock.
Hard Rock?
Oh God, it's different, but it's amazing. It's really beautiful.
And what game do they play there?
Well, baseball.
Baseball.
Okay. The Miami Marlins now.
Right.
Which again, that brought a lot of attention to Miami as well. But it's changed. It's just there was a lot of people pouring into Miami.
Right.
And that's the beauty of Miami.
Right. Miami. Once you are in Miami, you don't want to go.
You don't want to leave.
And where would you go really when you think about it? Because it's so cold everywhere else.
It is pretty cold everywhere else.
I'm not for cold weather at all.
That's what happened to my parents. My parents are Colombian, so they're used to tropical weather.
Yeah.
So they decided to go to New York from Miami, have me in New York, and they said, you know what, this is great, but
it's not for
us.
Yeah.
What's the closest place with tropical weather? Oh, Miami.
Yes.
Well, let's try Miami. Yeah. And ever since then, they haven't been back.
I remember staying with your parents and you when Hurricane Andrew.
With me. It wasn't even. My parents left to Colombia, and me and you were stuck in Hurricane Andrew.
It was phenomenal though, because we were part of a group called Deuce, and I brought. Everybody was bringing food to their house. Okay, I brought 2 cases of beers, 2 cases of champagne, a case of wine, and no food whatsoever. I'll never forget that.
It was an experience.
Then I went to sleep, and I woke up like around midnight, and I see green, and that was in the middle of the hurricane.
It was literally the eye of the storm.
And they moved us from Miami Beach to Kendall, where
Which
the
turned out
hurricane
to be
happened.
worse.
Yeah, I remember that.
I remember
we
that.
paid $10 for a bag of ice
I remember that. Oh my
That
God!
was something.
Remember, there was a stop sign that ended up in her pool.
in the pool.
It took
And
us.
there was a church thing that ended up in the neighbor's pool.
Yes, yes, it was.
So tell me now about the real estate. So
Okay.
what can we say that you can do for your clients if they decide that they want to go with you?
Well-
Do you give them the VIP treatment to the point where
Well, it's funny that you ask. Any realtor
Yeah.
can sell a piece of real estate.
oh yes,
But I
yeah,
can show you Miami. I will be your eyes and your ears and your direction in Miami.
Right.
I know Miami like the palm of my hand.
yes, you grew up here.
And I grew up in Miami.
Yeah.
And it's interesting that you ask because there's a you have to distinguish what people can and cannot do for you,
Right.
right? And one of the advantages that I think that I have is my experience and substance. Anybody who's anybody can go and get a real estate license,
Right.
right? But the fact of the matter remains is you got to back up what you know. And if you can't back up what you don't know or what you know,
And you have to care about your client.
you have to care about your client. To me, the most important thing is building a relationship. You want to build a relationship with anybody who's anybody because that's the fundamental piece. Because once you build and have or win their trust, from that point on, every and anything else can just be gravy. So what makes me different is I can show them Miami. I can tell them, in my opinion, what's good, what's not good. Why? Because I've seen it.
You've been in it.
I've been in it, and I've seen a lot of growth in Miami. I've seen it gone. I've seen it come back. I follow trends. I follow patterns.
Right.
And really, what it boils down to is winning the trust with the client,
Right.
with any prospect.
And if the client says that, let's say I only have $600,000, don't try to sell him something that's
course not.
$800,000.
Of course not. Of course not.
And I've experienced that with some real estate agents, and I've turned my back. And
It's unfortunate that that happens here and there. For the
Yes.
most part, they're really good people. They're very, really good people. But the unfortunate part is that there are people that don't have the experience, and because they don't have the experience, unfortunately, sometimes not good things can happen because of the lack of know-how.
indeed. Now, what good building that is growing in Miami or in the area or Miami Beach, North Miami Beach, that you would recommend someone to go?
Okay, so I think that's a great question. Right now, Miami, as I told you earlier on, is a melting pot.
Indeed.
People are coming to Miami.
Yeah.
I feel pre-construction is the way to go. Why pre-construction? Because
Yeah.
you're literally getting properties at a discount.
Really?
You're getting them at a discount. Developers will sell
Nothing
at a
has been
discount.
poured yet.
Correct.
So how does it work? Do people put a certain amount down, or they buy
Yes.
the whole thing?
Great question. So as developers start introducing the product or introducing the building, I'll give you a perfect example. To me, I usually like brand names. Why brand names? Because they have a following.
Correct.
And because they have a following,
Correct.
most people will identify. And let's say for whatever reason you want to sell your property at the end of the day, it'll be easier for a person to sell a property that
Indeed.
has a brand as opposed to a
Right.
building that nobody knows,
Right.
right? So, in terms of buying real estate, it really depends on the stages. So, the way it works is developers will have a marketing plan. Part of the marketing plan is hiring a real estate company. And when they hire a real estate company, then they get together with the real estate company, and then they basically what they do is they start off by either marketing through social media. They have a list of people or potential clients because they've worked with them in the past. And then at that point, what they do is they do family and friends discounts. So it starts off in stages, and that's stage one. And then what ends up happening is that from that point on, once they wait, let's say maybe a certain amount of time, and by that time they hope to get people coming in and selling at a very lower price.
Yeah,
and then
right.
as time progresses, it just builds up in stages, and people start giving deposits until finally they start building the building in stages,
Right.
and then finally they build. And when they build, at that point on, when it's time to close, people come up with the rest of the money
Right.
to close on the real estate
Right.
property, and then at that point, that's it. Then you
It's
have
ready to roll.
But it usually takes anywhere between 2 to 3 years.
Which is great, which gives you time to really get the money, all
Correct.
that. And have you had people that, for example, they invested in a building and they don't want to wait? Okay, let's say I've invested $200,000 in this building and then sold it to another person for $400,000, even though the building is not even finished. That person would take over. Can you do things like that? Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take just a little break. We'll be right back with you.